Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So over halfway through the year already, and these are my June favourites, or the products I've been using a lot in June. Some of them maybe not absolute favourites, but I've kind of been pulling them out and it felt like a good idea to talk about them. Um, you might think we haven't really needed sunscreen, certainly not all the time, with the weather we've been having in the UK. But I'm pretty religious about wearing SPF all year, in fact, and I do like to up it a little bit in the summer, and particularly if I'm outdoors a lot. So this year I always buy a fresh sunscreen really every season, and this year I bought quite an expensive one, the Zellens Daily Defense Sunscreen SPF 30. I do sometimes go higher than that, but it's not broad spectrum either. I'm just noticing it's UVA only. Sometimes I think going much higher than 30 or 35 is a bit counterproductive because you kind of feel almost too safe when in reality you do need to kind of reapply if you're in direct sunlight for any length of time, or outside or whatever. The Zellens is barely fragranced, pretty easy to use. Sunscreen is kind of sunscreen. I like this. It doesn't seem to interfere too much with my makeup, and it isn't particularly drying. Obviously, I wear a moisturizer underneath it. Um, so yeah, it's okay. Whether it's worth the money, I'm not so sure. Anyway, the important thing, folks, is to make sure you are wearing sun protection. I have to say, every dermatologist I've ever spoken to says that that's pretty much the number one thing that you need to be doing all the time, along with not smoking, to preserve your skin. Um, and then I also had a short walking holiday this month when I was outdoors in pretty nice weather, albeit in the north of England. And so I wasn't really wearing much makeup out there because, well, I wasn't wearing makeup at all in the holiday because it was a pretty casual place. But I found I got good use out of my Dr. Yart BB cream, which has an SPF of 45 on top of the Zellens to give me a bit of extra protection and just a little bit of evening out of skin tone. I've probably had this for 2, 3 seasons, so I need to use this up and then get rid. It was one of the first BB creams that I bought in the States, and you can see it's a slightly kind of greyish, very neutral tinge that actually works quite well with my skin, gives quite a nice finish. As I say, I kind of come and go to it. It is a very high SPF. I think I probably prefer the Chanel CC cream as a kind of beauty balm, although it's a CC cream rather than a BB cream. I'm never quite sure, if that makes a huge difference. I find gives me a bit more of a kind of glowy look when I'm going for the entirely natural look. And when I want a bit more coverage and staying power, I still swear by the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau BB cream. But this is a good option. And I think Dr. Yart makes all sorts of different ones. I haven't really explored. I think it's carried in Boots now, or some of the larger Boots anyway over here. I ought to mention also, I've talked about this before, albeit some months ago when I first got it, really enjoying the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. I've had, despite being on holiday for a week, very dark under eye bags, well, circles really, rather than bags. This is a very emollient cream with, as you can see, a kind of peachy tinge. Definitely colour corrects my quite dark under circles. Works for me. I can imagine it's not going to be for everyone. It's very sticky. I have a lot of fine lines, but not deep lines. You can see there it's giving a bit of brightening on the back of the hand. Obviously it looks very different on the eyes. I quite like the moistness. I find it lasts very well on me, but I don't powder under the eyes. You definitely couldn't do that with this. It's too sticky. And I suspect if you have got quite deep wrinkles as opposed to a lot of fine wrinkles, which I've got under the eyes, it might highlight them because it would definitely kind of get in the creases. So it won't be one for everybody, and you might want to go and try and get a little tester of it. But if you have got very dark circles, and it's the right skin tone for you, it's very, very effective with those. So I like it a lot. Now, a true favourite this month has been for me I still got the box. I don't know why I do that. I quite like keeping the box for a bit. It's the Empreinte du Désert, the Desert Footprints quad from Chanel Summer. I really, really like this quad. One of my favourite Chanel eyeshadow quads ever. Still looks barely worn. I mean, it's a shame to wear off the imprint, but these are really wearable shadows, all of them. The two browns are really, really gorgeous. Make a very simple eye. It's just the right combination of colour and shimmer. The gold is gorgeous as well. Let me just swatch them for you again. Looking a bit bright and shimmery there, but they're very, very wearable. I mean, that's just a gorgeous shade for my colouring. And even the green comes off near the eye with me as less green than that. Would look lovely on brown eyes, I think. But I think you're getting there. It comes almost as a kind of iridescent greeny grey. Very, very wearable. I've done all sorts of looks with this quad, and unqualified favourite for me. And I don't always say that with Chanel quads. I often buy them, keep very few of them, but that one is definitely a keeper. And I also liked the Stilo that came with it. And I've got two here. One of them was actually from the spring. So Oasis is the one that's currently in the collection. And I also pulled out Pacific Green, which was earlier this year, because it looks quite similar. And they are quite similar, it's fair to say. So there's the current one, a very greeny green. But again, doesn't translate on my eyes, as stonkingly green. I definitely can get away with this as blue-eyed, grey blue-eyed woman. And there's Pacific Green, you can see as slightly cooler, more steely kind of green, coming off very grey actually in the monitor. So the two are very close. You might not want both, but on the other hand, I have a drawer full of these Stilos. They're the best eye pencils for me. Pretty foolproof if you're not great at doing any eyelining. And, you can wear them on the upper lid, just sort of stick them on any old way and then smudge out with a Q-tip for a very easy look with some mascara, or apply a bit neater, round the waterline, whatever. Very, very versatile. So, loving those. I've also been enjoying, really just for the last week or so since I got it, this Becca Luminous Blush, which I got in Foxglove, kind of bluey pink. It is glowy, very pigmented, so have to be a bit careful or else I can look a bit overdone. You can see there. It's a strong colour, so I like to use a natural, fairly loose brush, which doesn't pick up too much colour. So I've been enjoying that one a lot. Still talking about the new range, the Chanel new formula. I just adore this colour from the summer collection, the Emerald, which I have worn a couple of times. Obviously ties in with the rest of the colours. But, I've talked about this on here and on Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing because I now have the approved Chanel under and overcoat. I've had it applied by my manicurist. and it chips on me within kind of 36 to 48 hours every time. A real shame. But I have to say, it doesn't seem to be the universal experience. Most people are finding a fantastic last on them. So it just must be something to do with my nail texture, because I actually get a better last with the old formula. Tragic, really, but it's a beautiful, beautiful colour. Definitely worth trying. And then lip-wise, I've been going fairly simple. I shopped my stash. I've got so many lip products. I'd forgotten about these lip crayons, patent polish lip pencils, which I think are still available all the time on MAC. These are two that I've had for a bit in Go for Girly, which is very pink, and Berry Bold. And they're just very easy to use. They're quite moisturising, not too pigmented, but definitely pigmented enough to show up, and but quite forgiving to older lips because they're kind of glossy, easy to apply, easy to throw in your bag. So I have been wearing those a bit. They've got lots of other colours. I think what made me pull those out was I was watching a YouTube video, Eva in the City, who was wearing the NARS lip pencil in a very bright orange colour that looked absolutely fabulous on her. I mean, she's very different, dark hair, beautiful skin, much younger than me. But hearing her talk about how easy it was to apply in that formula and in that form made me pull out my MAC pencils, although I'm also quite tempted to get one of those NARS ones as well. We shall see. Anyway, those were the favourites for June. Oh, I didn't speak about the Burberry. I've shown this before. It's the Burberry Eye Colour Cream. This one is gold copper, which I've been using as well. You can see well dug into it. Just does a very simple eye on its own with a bit of liner and mascara. Beautifully creamy and lasts really well. Looks really good on my blue eyes. Now, encouraged by how much I loved that, I bought two others in the range. One of which was this one, which is called Mink, I think. Which the sales assistant told me was their most popular colour. Now, the interesting thing is the formula seems completely different to me. It's really hard, not creamy at all. Even pushing down, you get very little pigment, which just goes out to nothing, and it kind of brushes off my eyelid. And so I think why I wanted to mention this is you can't even really say there's consistency across a product line sometimes. So you can have an experience with one colour in the range which not only suits you more as a colour but as texture and everything, and then buy another one on the strength of it and find it's pretty much a total dud. That's really not great for me. So not a favourite, although I love the gold one. So go figure. Anyway, until next time, bye for now.